What is going on, guys? It is Steven. Today we are back for week 3, the actual battle against Graham, our first test of the season. We played pretty well against Alyssa and Samm in weeks 1 and 2, but we are facing Graham. He's a he's quickly improving, and that's pretty scary for us. He has a very good team, and if he plays well, he can definitely destroy us. For those of you who'd like a reminder of the team we are bringing, stay tuned in just a second. If you'd like to see the full thought process of what we were bringing and why, a link to that will be in the description, as well as the playlist for the entire season if you need to catch up on any matches. As far as what we are bringing, you will see both teams, both our team that we are bringing this week and the team we expect Graham to have, showing up on the right side of the screen as per usual. And before we get into the battle, of course, the team we are bringing a Focus Sash Greninja with spikes, a Assault Vest Power Punch set on our Azumarill, a classic Mega Low Pony with Fake Out and Ice Punch, a Zap Plate Jolteon, a Manual Sand Excadrill with 3 attacks, and then our Culver Berry Lure Special Victini. So, as far as the team we expect Graham to have against us, we are expecting Volcanion and Landers. I believe those are the two hardest hitters he can bring against us, and they match up very, very well against our team. His Mega, of course, can't leave home without Mega Altaria, and it actually beats a lot of our team after it gets a Dragon Dance up. Heatran is one of Graham's staples. I don't expect not to see it. Celebi, I feel, covers a lot of our team as well. And then Helios is just a fast threat that can beat down our team pretty well outside of like a low pony. So those are the 6 I'm expecting from Graham. We will be right back and we will see what exactly he brought today. And hopefully we got most of it right. And yeah, I will see you guys out on the field. Alright friends, we are back, and today we are on the battlefield. As you see, Graham's team is right across from us, and we got most of the team right once again, except he actually didn't bring a lot of the threats that we thought he would bring. I see no Landers, I see no Volcanion, which is very, very good. Don't get me wrong, I'm very, very pleased that neither of those are there. I don't see... What else did I see? I see the Scolipede, which I thought there was a chance he could bring it, but I didn't really think he would. Anyway, yeah, so we're going to go ahead, and because I don't see any Landers whatsoever, Jolteon is pretty safe, because even if he leads off something like Heatran, I can Volt Switch out right away and gauge the damage that way, so that's what I'm going to do. And as per usual, we also be pausing periodically throughout the game to explain some of the plays and why we made them. Just a heads up, guys, I actually didn't play at the beginning of this game very well. As you're going to see, I'm going to lead off Jolteon. He leads off Invader Sim, his Scolipede. I decided to go straight for the Thunderbolt and gauge the damage. That does a hell of a lot. I see no leftovers, and he just throws out a Toxic Spike. Now, this Toxic Spike is very annoying because as you guys know, I actually don't have Rapid Spin on my drill, so we got to play around this we got to play around this for pretty much the whole game, which is kind of unfortunate, but as you're going to see also, I don't know if you guys saw that, but I did, we don't see Speed Boost on the Scolipede, which is very nice, because that just means I get to stay in a fight for another T-Bolt. Now look at that. That did almost half to Heatran. This is definitely offensive, and this is very, very good, because now if we Volt Switch out and we get some Spikes damage up later, this Heatran's going to die without doing anything. So as you're going to see, I'm going to Volt Switch again. It does like 30%. That's a massive amount, and Mr. Krabs is getting beat upon entry in this game. I'm going to go out to Lemon Party. I can threaten this thing out with the Aqua Jet. And here is the first misplay I make. He actually goes for the Earthquake. Does negligible damage. Does like 20%, which I guess is a bit of damage. But again, I have like very invested in HP. Plus I have some good natural bulk. But anyway, this is the first misplay I make. What I should have done here was knock off, because the Celebi switching is very obvious. What I decide is that Graham wants to sack his Heatran, and I choose to go for the Power Punch. Yeah, so I Power Punch. This is going to do nothing to Cosmo the Celebi. It does 8%. I do get that attack raise, but now I can't really do anything. And I decided to go for the knockoff now. Really bad play on my part, as I thought the Assault Vest would save me from the Giga Drain. But as you see from that damage, he's definitely fully offensive. So he actually knocks out the Azumarill and takes the lead. Now that is the first time this season that we've actually been in the back. So I'm going to go out to Greninja, just threaten this thing out the U-turn, and he actually stays in. I get off a hell of a lot of damage, 85%, more than enough. Around what I was expecting too. I think that was near max, actually. But yeah, it does a hell of a lot to Celebi, and I'm just going to U-turn out into my Victini. Rambo comes in, definitely threatening out the Celebi, but he goes for Giga Drain. Doesn't do a whole lot of damage. And I believe what I decided to do here after taking that poison damage, it's just going to be annoying the whole game. He actually switches out, which I did predict. I thought he was going to go into his Heatran, expecting me to go for the fire move to finish off the Celebi. But he actually goes out to the Suicune to offensively attack me with the water move. Now, this is bad because what I did was I predicted the switch in the Heatran, so I doubled out to Excadrill. I'm not going to be a poison, being a steel type, but now I'm in a bad position because he can fire off a waterfall here basically for free. What I decided to do is go back into Ninja, take a waterfall or the water move, which wasn't a big waterfall. It does less than 30%, which is fine, but I'm going to take that 12% from the poison. So definitely a bad situation here. Now, I do expect him to switch out. So I believe, what did I do here? Yeah, I do expect him to switch out into Helios, so I'm going to go ahead and spike up. I am a ground type, so I figured he can't really do anything to me. I do take that poison damage, and what he ends up doing actually is switching back out into his Suicune again, I believe. Yeah, switches back out into Suicune, takes that nice spike, and as we see here, he's actually not leftovers. So that spike damage is continuing to rack up. I went for the Ice Beam because it was my best attack to hit the Scolipede, the Heliolisk, and if you want to go out to his Altaria to avoid the spike damage, we can do that as well. Fire Skull trying to burn the Suicune doesn't actually happen, so I believe Suicune goes here for the Iron Head, predicting probably my Azumarill. No, my Azumarill's dead. Why did you go for Iron Head? I have no idea why he went for Iron Head there, but he did, and he's actually going to go back out into, and he's now going to go out into his Altaria. That's what it is. I actually get up a second spike just to kind of increase the damage we can do. As you see, Graham has no hazard removal on his team and no hazard removal in this game, so I get up a second spike. Unfortunately, Greninja is going to go down to the toxic damage there, so that actually is a kill for the Scolipede. Now I'm just going to go out into Jolteon because I can basically fire off a hit for free. I went right for the HPIs because it was 4 times effective against Altaria, but he actually switched out into Heatran. He actually lives his HPIs too, but I'm just going to be able to get off a T-Bolt and knock this thing out. It's at 4%, so that doesn't really matter. And I believe this is Jolteon's first kill of the season, as sure enough, I do just go for the Thunderbolt. Get a crit, didn't matter at all, but we knocked that thing out pretty easily. Now, what does he do here? So I take the poison damage. He goes out to Invader Zim. I have no idea why. I believe here I just go for the Volt Switch. Yeah, I go for a Volt Switch just so he can't come back in with something like his Celebi or his Heliolisk, eat the hit and wear me down even more with some poison damage. So I'm going to Volt Switch out into my Victini, as I believe here he brings in his Suicune. Do you bring a Suicune? Yes, you do bring a Suicune, but luckily I do make him take about 17%, so that's a nice damage. I go for Thunder here, I miss. That is really, really bad, because I actually talked to Graham after the game. He had no idea that Victini even learned Thunder. So not only if I'd hit this Thunder, I would have been able to knock this thing out, and then, as you can see from his remaining Pokemon, basically, not only could Victini probably win, but so could Lopunny, Jolteon. Basically, if I hit that move, I probably won the game 3 or 4-0 right there. But unfortunately, I miss, and he's able to go for the waterfall and knock me out. Goodbye, Rambo. You tried very hard. Unfortunately, the Hex Gods were not on our side, and we did miss a Thunder, but Thunder is like 70% accurate, so can't really blame him here. And plus, if he was a full health and defensive, there was no reason for me to bring Thunderbolt, as a Thunder obviously hit very hard. And it takes 16% from the spikes on entry. I'm gonna go for the Thunderbolt. It does 35, which isn't a lot, but as you see, combined with the Volt Switch I'm gonna do here in a second, we actually severely weakened this Heliolisk, as he does 26, so he did over half between those two moves plus spikes. We did around 60%, which is great. Do take that poison damage. Now I'm going to just go into my drill. It's a great thing that I switched here, and the reason for that is originally I was just trying to sack my drill, but he actually goes for Glare. If you guys don't know what Glare does, it's a normal type paralyzed move, which means he ignores the fact that it's a ground type or an electric type. So he does paralyze me. When I watched the film, when I watched this game again, the film, shout out guys, I thought I had Rapid Spin. I misplayed here by not going for the spin, but I actually don't have Rapid Spin on this set, so that was a fine play. It almost knocks it out. He does knock me out with the waterfall, but now I can go back out into my Jolteon. He has no switch-ins for this. His switch-in, he decides, is, of course, the Altaria. I just went for the Thunderbolt because I know even in fly, as long as Altaria hasn't Mega Evolved, it'll still be a neutral hit. Thunderbolt will. It does well over half, and now I have no reason not to just go for HPIs. I figure he has to get his Mega off. He has to be able to hit as hard as possible. We easily knocked the thing out at 42%. So Jolteon picks up another kill, his second of the game. Now it's looking like Jolteon winning because the Suicune can't come in on spikes. The Celebi is way too low, 11%, doesn't matter. Anyway, I'm going to go for this 4 times effective Signal Beam, knock this thing out, and then his last is the Heliolisk. Well, his last is the Suicune, but like I said, will die to entry, and so his last Pokemon is the Heliolisk. I do take toxic damage, not toxic, regular poison, but after the Spikes entry, I can easily just go for the Thunderbolt and knock this thing out. So 5th kill right there. And the only thing that stops Jolteon from picking up all 6 kills is Greninja getting credit for the spike kill, as he's going to send in his Heliolisk and, not his Heliolisk, his Suicune, and go down. So that is going to be the very close 2-0 victory. Now, Graham played very, very well. Graham's mistakes were not really in the game. I think he made as many plays as he could. Really, as far as team building, that's where he kind of messed up. He didn't bring either of his 2 biggest threats again, the Landorus and the Volcanion were very effective against my team. I had very few switch-ins for either of them. I had one switch-in for Volcanion and no switch-ins for Landorus. Landorus also would have helped him against Jolteon. It didn't look like he prepared much at all for Jolteon, and it makes sense in the fact that I didn't bring it either of my first 2 weeks, but at the same time, you should be trying to prepare for the whole team and not just what you think I should bring based on what I brought the previous week, because each team is obviously different. But yeah, not preparing for Jolteon definitely cost him the game as well as the not having speed boost on the Heliolisk, not the Heliolisk, the Scolipede. I think that was very strange. Potentially, if he had gone for the, if he had speed boost, gone for the Protect, and then potentially could have knocked me out with the Earthquake turn 1 and eliminated the threat right there. I didn't think he would be speed boost, granted, or that he would have Earthquake, but he actually didn't. He actually didn't have either, so it worked out for me. But unfortunately, he was not able to get rid of my Jolteon, and again, it just kind of blew through his team. Lastly, I guess the big thing is neither of us had hazard removal this game, but the fact that Graham doesn't have any on his team, period, pretty much there was no reason for me not to bring some type of entry hazard. I would have liked to bring rocks, because as you see, the team he brought got worn down pretty easily by them. Scolipede and Altaria, of course, but I just couldn't fit on the team, and Spikes proved to be more than enough. Next week is week 4. We will be taking on Balfre. Balfre is a very good battler. I'm very excited to face him. He's pretty competent. Other than Jim, he's probably the 3rd best battler. If I don't include myself, he's the 2nd best battler in the league. If I do, he's the 3rd best. But his team is pretty scary, and we should get a good game against him. If he plays well, it should be a pretty fun game. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed the battle, please leave a like, leave a comment if you want to, as far as how he did, and subscribe if you're not. Anyway, guys, I'm Stab, and I'm out.